Hey everybody, welcome back to Rolo Gaming. Today we're going to be doing our first impressions at first look at Ethiopia. So I'm just going to be in this little corner right over here. And let's go ahead and check this out.
Menelik II leads Ethiopia in Sid Meier's Civilization 6.
What was his name? Menelik? Also, I uploaded a 4K version of this, and I hope you guys like that. So in this video, we're just going to be doing a deep dive into the first look of Ethiopia.
Best remembered for fighting off European powers, modernizing the nation, and ending slavery, Menelik established Ethiopia as a bastion against colonialism.
Until Italy came and ruined it, huh?
Ethiopia's unique ability is called Oxuomite legacy. Its cities earn extra faith from resources, boosted even further when international trade routes originate from resource-rich cities.
Let's listen to that again.
Oxuomite legacy. Its cities earn extra faith from resources, boosted even further.
So they got extra faith from resources? Okay. That can be pretty useful, especially looking at this city. There's like resources everywhere. And you know, in the base civilization game, there's resources literally everywhere as well.
Further when international trade routes originate from resource-rich cities.
That's also interesting. Oh, but that has to be international. I don't really like doing international trading. I just like trading within my own, cities. But yeah, this seems very faith focused. And depending who you send your trade routes to, you can get a ton of faith. So far, it seems like he'd be amazing at faith. But let's hope that, he has some defensive properties too.
The empire can also purchase archaeological museums and archaeologists with faith.
That could definitely speed up the whole process of getting like rare artifacts, and artifacts will help you with faith, so that's good to see.
Ethiopia's unique unit is the Oromo Cavalry.
Alright, so this is what I want to see. What kind of military do they have? Do they have any kind of boost towards military? So the Oromo Cavalry, okay.
This cavalry unit replaces the Corsair. It has better combat.
The Corsair. That's pretty far. I would want them to have like something more towards the beginning because of the fact that they're so heavily focused on faith. So, if they're able to keep their cities safe in the early game, I think that might have helped them more. But, they also want to add like a historical flair to it, right? So, sometimes you don't get a choice. What did Ethiopia do in like the early civilizations when they were really young? Probably nothing. They probably didn't even exist. They were probably called Abyssinia at that point, right? But let's see what kind of boosts they get. It could be kind of nice to have a cavalry unit in the mid game too. Because in the early game you'll most likely be alone, and then the later you get, the more chances you are that you're gonna deal with other civilizations. So I can see how that can be helpful.
Strength and sight than the Corsair.
More strength and more sight? Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. The sight could be helpful with, making sure you're not getting sneak attacked. And I like to see the extra strength. Yeah, actually, you know what? This unique unit is going to be really nice towards the mid game. You can use it defensively or offensively. But most likely, if you have a bunch of faith, you're going to want to use it defensively.
And receives no movement penalty from moving on hills.
That's going to help with speed. That's pretty nice.
Ethiopia's tile improvement, the rock-hewn church, can only be built on hills or volcanic soil.
Only on hills or volcanic soil? Do they get destroyed? Does Ethiopia have a lot of volcanoes? As far as I know, there might be like one volcano there. I don't really remember.
And multiple churches can't be built adjacent to each other.
Multiple churches can't be built near each other? What?
Or volcanic soil. And multiple churches can't be built adjacent to each other.
Well, that kind of ruins it. But it's also a good thing that, they let you put it on hills too, because in Civilization there's a ton of hills everywhere, no matter where you are.
It provides faith and extra faith from adjacent mountains and hills.
Adjacent mountains and hills. Oh, that can be really useful. Looking at this map, you can see a ton of really mountainous area, like to the top right over here. That's a lot of hills and mountainy area. Yeah, this is a really good map for him.
They can only be pillaged and not destroyed by natural disasters.
So they can only be well, what's the point then? You're gonna need a builder by it every single time a mountain erupts. And you just introduce apocalypse mode that's gonna make a freaking volcano erupt every 2 minutes. Why would you ever put it near a volcano? They should have just made it so that they can't get like pillaged at all. I don't know how I feel about this one.
Once you research flight, Rock-hewn churches also produce tourism.
Tourism? I mean, if you suddenly want to switch over to a culture victory, sure, but at that point you probably put in so much into faith that you should just continue with faith.
Menelek's ability is called Council of Ministers. He gets extra culture and science based on his faith output in cities founded on hills.
Cities found on hills? That's not so bad. I like putting my cities on hills. They provide that extra production. But the extra science and culture is going to be nice. Wait a minute, did this guy put a city right next to a volcano? Why would you do that? Okay. Alright.
His units also get extra combat strength when fighting on hills.
Oh, that's going to be pretty useful. Again, hills everywhere.
Ethiopia's focus is on a defensive, religious, and culture-centered game.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Culture. But they only have like one thing towards culture, right? Unless if I mistake something.
Claim hill tiles early for your cities. The Council of Ministers ability can keep Ethiopia well-rounded, even as you try to maximize the amount of faith you are producing.
Okay, that's going to be pretty nice if you can just like focus on hills. I think you can get a pretty good strategy out of this.
If you don't win a religious victory, you can still use faith to purchase archaeologists, naturalists, or even rock bands later in the game.
Oh yeah, rock bands. If you get rock bands with a bunch of faith, that's going to really help you out. Yeah, I can see how they can do like a culture victory. And having a cavalry unit towards the middle of the game, that's also going to be pretty nice because I think towards the beginning of the game, it's kind of more chill, right? Because everyone's trying to get their footing. But towards the mid part of the game, that's when everyone starts snowballing, right? And if you have a military civ near your civilization, that's where you want to take advantage of those cavalry. Maybe you can go on the offensive, take them out, take out the competition, or just use it to defend yourself until you can get some better equipment, some better weapons, increase your science. Okay, that's not so bad.
Keeping a culture victory within reach. Will you resist the powers that come at you from afar? How will you lead Ethiopia in Sid Meier's Civilization 6?
Okay, so that was the video. If I was to use it, I'd probably use them very defensively and try to go for a faith victory. I don't know though, I'm not much of a faith player, so Ethiopia isn't really a character that I'm that interested in. But what do you guys think? Are you guys like faith type players and you guys love getting faith type victories? Faith and culture are not really things I really look for in my civilizations. I look for science and military. I like being on the offensive. Hey guys, I just took another look at the trailer for the first look of Ethiopia, and I actually think that Ethiopia does have some culture benefits. It gets a decent amount of culture bonuses, like a secondary bonus level, and in terms of its military, it's very defensively focused because, if you're going to be going for culture and faith, you're going to be making sure that you're keeping everyone as a friend and you're defending yourself. So I think if you build some city walls and get out as much cities as you can, you'll be doing pretty good in this situation. That's another thing. If you increase your culture, your borders will grow larger and larger. So even if you have like a small number of cities, each one of those cities might have a ton of bonuses in terms of its resources. But one of the things I really don't understand is the whole volcano thing. Like, why would you put a city near a volcano? Why would you put one of those churches near a volcano? Even if it just gets pillaged, I'd rather it just not get pillaged at all. I don't want to deal with that every single time, you know what I mean? I don't want to have a builder right next to it taking care of that every time a volcano erupts. Because, sometimes I like playing on Apocalypse mode. I think it's pretty fun. And this kind of hurts that because a volcano erupts every 2 minutes in Apocalypse mode. So why would you ever want to put a city or a church near a volcano? You can put it on a hill, that's a pretty good idea, but I also don't understand why, they won't just let you put it nearby. Come on. Let us put a bunch of churches next to each other. Anyway, that was my first look at Civilization 6 Ethiopia. What do you guys think? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Bye bye. Bye bye.